let's start the new topic of the chapter 1. The topic name is Computer Components and Basic Computer Organization. Computer Components and Basic Computer Organization. Computer Components and Basic Computer Organization. Computer components means using which components a computer system is made of. And basic computer organization means how those components are connected to each other to create a computer to work as a computer. That means what the components using which a computer is made of is called computer components, and how those components connected to create a new computer is called computer organization. So we will deal with computer components and computer organization one by one. First, let's see about computer components. Computer components. Okay. What are the various components of the computer? The first one is called input unit. Input unit. The second one is called output unit. Output unit. The third one is called central processing unit. Central processing unit. That means CPU. The CPU itself, the central processing unit itself, has three different parts. First one is called arithmetic and logic unit, also called ALU. Second one is called control unit. Control unit. This is called CU. The third one is called registers. We will learn about all these parts one by one. So we are done with the central processing unit. Other computer component is primary memory. Primary memory. The other computer component is the secondary storage unit. Secondary storage unit. So we have these many components of computer. These components gets organized together to create a new computer, and how these components organize together, that is called computer organization. But before we see about the computer organization, let's discuss these points one by one in short. Further, we will learn all these points in detail, but for now, let's discuss these points one by one in short. So, what is the input unit? The input unit is responsible for taking input from computer. Is responsible for taking input from computer. Can you give me a few examples? This is each. Okay, don't confuse. This is each. So can you give me a few examples of input unit? Give me a few examples. Example is keyboard, mouse, touch screen monitor. Okay, not all monitor, touch screen monitor. Then scanner. So etc. So these are the few components of the computer through which computer can take inputs. So all these components together are called input unit. Then we have output unit. So output unit is responsible for giving output from the computer. So here it should not be from, here it should be for, taking input for the computer and giving output from the computer. Now tell me a few examples of output unit. Your monitor, your printer, these are the examples of output unit. Okay. After that you have another component called central processing unit. The central processing unit is the brain of computer, and the CPU is actually called the computer. Other things are just input and output to the CPU. Other things are something to support the CPU. Memory is to support the CPU to process fast. But what actually the computer is, where the calculation actually happens in the computer, that is the CPU. Okay, so the CPU, that means the central processing unit, is the brain of computer. The CPU is the brain of computer. Okay, and there are three parts of CPU. One is called arithmetic logic unit. All the calculations like arithmetic calculations and logic decisions are happens in this ALU unit. So we can say that all the calculations, all the calculations, either arithmetic means numerical calculation or logic calculations. Logical calculations means if something is greater than or less than something else. So these calculations are called logical calculations, in which you get the result as true or false. And the arithmetic calculation means you get the numeric result. The ALU is responsible for both kinds of calculations, either arithmetic calculations or logic calculations. All the calculations in computer happens in ALU. Okay, so CPU is just like the brain of your computer. ALU unit does arithmetic and logic operations. Now what this control unit does? As the name suggests, the control unit controls, supervise the different components of the computer. Okay, so the control unit supervise different components of the computer. How the control unit supervise the different components of computer? This is by giving signals. The control unit gives signals to the ALU, to the memory, to the input output controller. The control unit gives signals to everyone in the computer and supervise the overall working of the computer. Just like the control unit is the manager, ALU is the assistant of this control unit, and by the help of ALU, the control unit manages every other component of the computer. After that, we have another part of central processing unit is registers that we will see later. Now coming to the primary memory. Your RAM. Do you remember RAM? RAM is very famous word. We will discuss more about the RAM, but RAM is the primary memory. RAM is the primary memory. Okay. One more primary memory exists in the computer world, that is called ROM. But when you say about the primary memory, then most of the time you mean RAM. So RAM is the primary memory. What is the functionality of RAM? We will learn about the functionality of RAM in detail, but for now, you just remember that whatever the program you want to execute in your computer, that program permanently resides on your hard disk drive, okay, or on your SSD. Hard disk drive and SSD are the secondary storage units, okay. So whatever the program resides on your hard disk drive or on your SSD, when you double click on that program first gets loaded into the primary memory and then CPU executes it. CPU cannot directly access the secondary storage unit. CPU can only directly access the primary memory. That's why whenever you have to execute something which is permanently stored on your secondary storage unit, you have to take it to the primary memory, then only that program can execute. Suppose that you want to play a song, then the song file, that means the MP3 file, will be first loaded to the primary memory. After that, the MP3 player, the executable file of the MP3 player is a program. So the program whose name is MP3 player also gets loaded into the primary memory. Now your song file, that is MP3 file, is in the primary memory. The MP3 player is also in the primary memory. Then after, when both program and data, so MP3 player is the program and the MP3 file is the data. Program has to execute the data. So when both the program and data gets loaded to the primary memory, then only the CPU executes that program. So whenever you want to execute something, that thing first should be present in the primary memory. The RAM is called the primary memory. Okay, but this is also called the internal memory. Internal memory. But problem with the primary memory is that the primary memory is volatile in nature. Volatile in nature. The primary memory is volatile in nature. That means when you switch off your computer, whatever things you have loaded to the primary memory, all those things gets erased. That's why for the permanent storage, you use either your hard disk drive or your solid state drive. Because on the hard disk drive or solid state drive, the things gets stored permanently. And these two drives are called secondary storage unit. You cannot save something permanently in the primary memory. For the permanent storage, that file or that program need to be present on the secondary storage unit. But the CPU cannot access the secondary storage unit directly. That's why you have to temporarily load that program and that file to the primary memory so that the CPU can access them. Hopefully you are getting my points. But the primary memory is volatile in nature. That's why whenever you switch off your computer, all the content of the primary memory gets erased after that. Now we are coming to the secondary storage unit. Okay, this is for permanent storage. As I told, permanent storage. Examples of secondary storage unit, tell me. Hard disk drive. Hard disk drive, that means HDD. The second example is solid state drive, that means SSD. That's how the hard disk drive and the solid state drive are various examples of secondary storage unit. Okay, so let's see the component of computer system as a picture. Hopefully you got all these things. Oh, we left with registers. What is the register? Register is a kind of storage in the central processing unit. The data and the program first gets loaded from the secondary storage to the primary memory. From the primary memory, these things gets loaded into the registers and then the CPU accesses them. This is called internal storage of CPU. Internal storage of CPU. If I say the secondary storage memory compared with the primary memory compared with the registers, then the registers are fastest. Okay, primary memory is slower, the secondary storage is slowest. But if you talk about the price of these components, then the secondary storage price is cheapest. The primary memory is more costly and the registers are most costly storage components in the computer. So hopefully you are getting my points. Take the screenshot or make a notes on your copy and Let's see the various components of the computer by using a figure. Let's draw a picture which dictates you about various components of the computer. So this is your computer. Okay. In the computer, you have primary memory. In the computer, you have primary memory. MEMORY. Primary memory. Then you have a CPU. Okay. The combination of CPU and primary memory is called the computer. Okay. And other things are called the outsiders of the computer system. Okay, only primary memory and CPU are called the insiders of the operating system. Other components like input output units or secondary storage are called outsiders of the computer system. So here you have the CPU, central processing unit, CPU. I am just writing CPU. Hopefully you know the full form of CPU, central processing unit. Then you have ALU in the CPU. ALU. Then you have CU, means control unit. ALU means arithmetic logic unit. Hopefully you remember these things. And this is the CPU. Good. After that, we have output unit, something called output unit. Output unit and something called input unit. Input unit. Okay. Then after, you have something called secondary storage. Secondary storage. Okay. And from the secondary storage, you either give data in the computer or take data from the computer. Therefore, you can say that this, if I fill this color, then you can say that this colored part is the computer, which has only two components, primary memory and CPU, and all other components of the computer are actually outsiders of the computer. When you study about the computer components in your higher classes, like in engineering, the input unit, the output unit, and the secondary storage, actually all are treated as a common input output unit. But for now, in the class 11th, go with the picture given in your book. So take the screenshot or draw the picture so that we can proceed further. So these are the various components the computer has. Now let's see how the various components of the computer organize together to create a new computer. That is called computer organization. Computer organization. Let's see the concept of computer organizations. That how different components of a computer organize together to realize a computer. All the components of the computer are actually attached with a wiring. Okay, all the components of the computer are actually connected with each other by a wiring. Okay, that wiring is called bus, or sometimes it is called system bus. Now your input unit is connected to the bus. Input unit is connected to the bus. Your output unit is also connected to the bus. Output unit is also connected to the bus. Then tell me, the storage unit, okay, also connected to the bus. Don't care about these arrow signs. Actually, you should draw a good diagram. I am not drawing the good diagram. I am not drawing the good looking diagram, but you should draw a good looking diagram. So input unit, output unit, and other unit is storage unit. Storage unit. This storage unit is also connected to the bus or system bus. After that, you have memory. What you have? Tell me. Memory. So the memory is also connected to the system bus. Memory is also connected to the system bus. Then you have CPU. Okay, the CPU also connected to the system bus. I'm trying to draw a good diagram. And don't laugh at me. Okay, so I'm trying to draw the good diagram and to create something called CPU. So here you have ALU, you have registers, and then you have controller. Controller. Okay. So arithmetic logic unit, or you can don't say it controller. I don't know why they have written it controller. Say it control unit, CU. So you have ALU. This is ALU. Don't confuse. This is the ALU. This is the registers and this is the CU. All are the components of the CPU. CPU itself connected to the system bus. Memory connected to the system bus. That means all the components we just studied, all are connected to the bus. And bus is nothing but a wiring. Okay. So this is called basic computer organization. Computer organization. So all your files are initially stored on the storage unit. When you double click on that file, then that file goes to the memory through bus, because bus is the wiring. This is the only connection between the storage unit and the memory. So that file goes to the memory through bus. Then the CPU accesses that file from the memory through bus. CPU does whatever it has to do and send it back to the memory. Then from the memory, it goes to the output unit through bus. And suppose that your program requires something input from the keyboard, then from your keyboard, whatever the key you type, that first goes to the memory, and from the memory, it goes to the CPU for execution. So hopefully now you understand how the 5 components of the computer are got connected by using the system bus, a unique system bus, a unique wiring to organize a computer. There are few important points to discuss. Computer system works. Computer system works on input, process, output principle. So computer system works on input, process, output principle. So take the input either from the storage unit or from the input unit. You can take the input from anywhere, temporarily store it into the memory, then give it to the CPU for the processing, and then give the output of the processing to the output unit. This is the principle on which the computer system works.